lot about that TV show, man, that got people confused. Because I live with my grandma. You know, we'll go to the house for like the weekend. They'll say, hey, we're shooting today. We need y'all at the house. Come get me from my grandma's house. Right after we done, when the cameras go off.
For a while, it became easy. Like, I'm a person who is kind of like numb in the situation. That's why I'm saying I'm not into my feelings. Like, even me saying my mom, she was on the road and stuff, like, I became numb with being at my grandma's. And it's just like, this is what it is. So after a while of me being hurt, I'm like, oh, I want my family. I want this to work out. It's like, even my mom and my dad, I learned at a young age, everything don't work out. It doesn't have to go as planned.
So my dad went on a podcast and told the world about my virginity. I'm still pretty upset with him about it. I'm not going to be able to like really get through to him, like connect. How I need.
But then you need to try to though.
He always plays me, honestly. So like, are you angry? I just don't really care to be around him right now. I'll be a better parent. I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad parent.
No, we get it.
But I'm just saying, like, when it comes to stuff like this, like, I'm just going to be more connected mentally, emotionally, all the rest.
Tiny and her kids appear to be involved in something all the time, and it doesn't seem like it will end anytime soon. They blamed their parents for their circumstances as they grew older, saying that by the time they were 24, Tiny's daughter, Zan, was practically constantly outside and that she was the third unwed baby mother to a man with 3 children. Not to mention King Harris, who is a social hazard. There are 2 more ladies. Additionally, this 20-year-old is expecting a baby, and he isn't even able to tie his own shoes. Tiny and Ty appeared unhelpful and placed the children in awkward circumstances.
For those who don't understand, Tip had some infidelities with a girl who I hired, and that girl is one of the reasons why I got my own house.
Ty and Tiny's relationship is legendary after more than 2 decades together. They have endured every conceivable adversity a couple might face and are still together, but no one refers to them as couple goals because they are such. Troublesome Ty was surrounded by women and never said no, but it wasn't just about breaking up with them. He had them on his arm and looked confident when he was seen. He was a legitimate hitmaker and a well-respected member of the rap community. They knew that Tiny was in a very famous marriage with children, and he was at home preparing to give birth to their second child. Ty was reportedly taking the Love Season 1 winner out to clubs. Ty and Nikki hooped the video Vicks, according to whoever watched them. And Hoots were fairly close, but when they were about to go, Hoops started to approach her, which made things a little odd. Ty allegedly pleaded with the vixen to follow Tiny back to his crib so they could have some 3-way action after Tiny had a stillbirth in 2006. Some people thought that she and eventually their unborn child were affected by the stress of his constant infidelity when he should have been by her side. However, Tiny stayed true to her partner, not only allowing him to do as he pleased, but also participating in the way of life that Tiny and T always led. Other women would allegedly visit the house to join in the orgies, and they would have parties where everyone was required to perform Molly or nose sweets. Several reports claim that these orgies were actually with derided Instagram thugs, and occasionally even some celebrities joined in on the fun.
T.I. Hot. He is One time he and Tiny invited me over for dinner.
Yeah, sure they did. Sure they did.
Oh, I was quite flattered.
They were like,
why didn't you
guess
go?
what's for dinner, you bitch?
When you do things like this behind closed doors, something will undoubtedly leak or go wrong. It was thought that Ty and Tiny were paying some of the implicated girls when things got out of hand. To keep their lips shut, but their friend or business partner, quote unquote, Sabrina Peterson, revealed their entire situation in public.
Your husband put a gun to my head after me looking out for you on several occasions. You are the better woman. You're the woman that's always somewhere crying. You're the one that's always being cheated on. You're the one but you're the one that wants to go run to your friends and tell them what he did wrong in X, Y, and Z. And I was so young, I did not know. I didn't know to not listen to a woman when she's going crazy and crying about her relationship. The only thing I knew is that my friend was going through X, Y, and Z, and I jumped like the dumbass I was. But the facts do remain the same. And if so I've let this go because it's so freaking old. This is so old, but this is a part of my trauma. This is a part of my truth. This is so old that he went on to make songs about it and so forth and so on. That same silver gun that was on the table when he was arrested, that one silver revolver with the long nose on it, was the gun that he put to my head, screaming, "Bitch, I'll kill you, bitch, I'll kill you." So my PSA today is about me speaking about my past trauma, what I went through. That's my truth. That is my truth. Your daughter was there to witness it. His sister Precious, rest in peace, was there to witness it. And many other children.
Rob Kardashian even brought up the three-way romance between his baby mama Chai and Ty and Tiny. What really got people talking, though, was her claim that the pair had mistreated several women, forced them to consume drugs, and interacted strangely with them. Additionally, she asserted that Ty would become jealous and beat these ladies viciously as he watched if they were having too much fun together and if the women tried to, in order to defend oneself or to retaliate. Even though they have been together for a long time, it seems like they may have recently gotten together. Sabrina wasn't simply making this public for the sake of making it public. Ty would leave them available for Tiny to do her thing. Oh no, she brought with her a number of receipts from ladies who described the treatment they received at T.I. and Tiny's residence. In addition, 12 women filed lawsuits against the couple for providing them with narcotics at parties and for sexually assaulting them. Because of the bizarre experiences they have shared, they have developed a trauma bond. For instance, Tiny had to try to buy 3 or 4 machine guns to maintain the family while he was incarcerated. She ensured the well-being of their family and children, but by the time he left the house, they had reverted to their old habits in a tumultuous scene. Ty and Tiny were imprisoned in West Hollywood when X.I. was found there. Tiny said that their car belonged to her, but the feds failed the T.I. test and was promptly placed back in jail for an extra 11 months for violating his probation. He was excited to lead the family again and make all the decisions when he got out, but Tiny had
found my own voice. He was used to saying, okay, no, we're doing this, we're moving this way, and I was like, oh, okay. But when he came home, he said, we're moving this way, and I'm like, well, no, I got this to do, and he's like, that's not the way. You know, it wasn't what he was used to. He was used to controlling things and, well, having things his way at all times. But once I got on my own 2 feet, I felt like I should have a voice too. And that voice, it was a little different from what he was used to. So that, to me, is what caused the issue. Wasn't because I'm just being outlandishly disrespectful, because if you recall, you could not move, you cannot go anywhere. I was still in the house, like I was on probation, doing all the things. But because I had a voice that was not so timid, like, to me, this is my outlook.
She finally found her voice and matured since she had to take responsibility, something baby Ty did not like. They started having issues, and rather than fixing them, T.I. was apparently making fun of other people and jumping right into some new honey walls that he had acquired with Bernice Burgos, French Kiss, T.I.'s female group, which ultimately led to the group's breakup. To be clear, Tiny has had her own cycle of men and women, and as you may know, he is unable to manage half of what he throws at her at once, so naturally, her cycle was more muted than Ty's. He thought she was spreading her legs for a man. The children had to see all of this foolish behavior when Floyd Mayweather showed up in Vegas like a vindictive bird and started tearing everything up. Tiny and Ty never had time for the kids since they were too busy with each other's problems. After all, their own drama was enough to keep them occupied. Sure, Ty and Tiny gave their kids a comfortable upbringing and can afford more than most people, but being a successful parent is about more than just having money. The two of them were out being themselves, and the kids were always with their grandparents. Tiny and T certainly neglected their children in several ways, but no one is saying that they abandoned them. Precious' major sister and other mother passed away in 2019. She was the mother of those kids who gave them security. Characteristics that benefited the people and the extracurricular activities they participated in.
I was outside, y'all. I swear I was always outside as a kid. Why? Because when you got parents who, do shit in the industry, you know how y'all try to make it seem like, celebrity kids, they just got the best lifestyle. My parents, I ain't never seen them. I ain't never seen my parents. I ain't never seen my parents. Let's just call it out. Let's just call it what it is. These folks busy. They busy. And
King Harris' entire hood image was established while he was growing up with his grandmother. Has been very vocal about how he feels his parents abandoned him.
He know that. Ain't no know it. He capping. Hey. He know I stand on business. He know that. Ain't no ever pull my car ever in life. I stand on business. You drop me somewhere, I stand on business. You drop me in your hood, I stand on business. I don't feel like you stand on business. Yeah. I've been stood on business. I've been stood on business. You want to hide it for the world, I'm going to put it out there for them to see. I want to put up nowhere. You ain't had me put up nowhere. You ain't had me.
It's true that people have different ideas about Tiny and T.I.'s parenting style. In addition to being a horrible mother and a cruel stepmother, Tiny is also a wicked father. They create a terrible parent dynamic when combined. It is not even appropriate to use the terms T.I. and Tiny and real black love interchangeably. It was obvious to me that the show was fake. Are the children of T.I. and Time justified in speaking up, or are they tripping over their parents' neglect? Around all of them, the girl constantly appeared extremely uncomfortable. Don't be scared to click off before you're satisfied, and feel free to share your thoughts in a remark. In addition, you should subscribe to B Bates. I'll see you next time.